Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the 9 p.m. live English news edition. Here are the top stories. Sanitary authorities announced 10 new cases of coronavirus. For the international news, the Eurogroup finally finds an agreement to refurbish the European economy. Hello and welcome to our newsroom. As every day, we open this news with the daily briefing of the Secretary General of the Ministry of Health. Dr. Salah Bonaita Turab has made a statement on the evolution of COVID-19 in our country. On Friday, 10 April 2020, the results of COVID-19 are as follows. I quote, 341 tests performed, 10 COVID-19 positive cases, 120 people remain under surveillance at the quarantine center, 112 people currently under treatment in the 2 treatment centers, 8 people healed today. In total, 3,740 tests are performed, 150 COVID-19 positive cases, 360 patients healed, 1 case of death. We are asking the population to comply with the barrier measures and to help us to bring the epidemic under control and to sustainably affect the pandemic curve in our country. Stay at home. On Friday, 10 April 2020, the results of COVID-19 are as follows. I quote, 341 tests performed, 10 COVID positive cases, 120 people remain under surveillance at the quarantine center, 112 people currently under treatment in the 2 treatment centers, 8 people healed today. In total, 3,740 tests are performed, 150 COVID positive cases, 260 patients healed, and 1 case of death. We are asking the population to comply with the barrier measures and to help us to bring the epidemic under control and to sustainably affect the pandemic curve in our country. Stay at home. The Djiboutian Kerosene Company, SDVK, has handed over a large consignment of medical equipment to the Ministry of Health. This action is part of the solidarity drive initiated by the President of the Republic to effectively combat the COVID-19 pandemic. This batch of equipment received by the senior official of the Ministry of Health is essentially composed of beds and mattresses. It is up to us that in order to fight this pandemic, which is raging throughout the world, the various institutions of the country, national and foreign businessmen are showing an unfailing solidarity and have given on this occasion an important donation in the form of funds. The director of the Djiboutian Kerosene Sales Company spoke at the ceremony to hand over the donation and recalled that during this period of crisis we must help each other to respond effectively to this health emergency. In this time of pandemic, the containment, the Ministry of Muslim Affairs, Culture and Waqf Property, His Excellency Mr. Mumin Hassan Bari, took the initiative to seize the sacred night of Friday to organize vigil of Quran reading and evocation in several mosques in the country to surrender to Allah and ask for His mercy and protection against the COVID-19 epidemic that is spreading worldwide. Thus, the Islamic High Council and Directorate of Muslim Affairs chose several mosques in the capital city and the interior regions to exhort the faithful to take advantage of this noble Friday night to seek divine grace and invoke Allah so that you may succeed. Surah Al-Jum'ah verse 10. Imams and devotees gathered to chant the Holy Quran and recite its enchanting verses while reminding people of the need to observe the rules recommended by the Quran and the Sunnah to deal with this pandemic. Indeed, the Prophet, prayer and salvation be upon him, said in authentic hadith, O servant, heal yourself. Allah has not sent down our sickness without having sent this his remedy at the same time. It is therefore incumbent on everyone to ask all the means of care at his disposal to protect his health and to abide by the measures taken by the government and the health authorities in the country. Above all, one must have confidence in Allah. These moments of recollection and spirituality have nourished hope and trust in Allah to overcome this difficult ordeal, which will undoubtedly be followed by good days and better tomorrows for our country and the resumption of normal life in prosperous condition for all of us. It is worth recalling that this vigil and gathering for the reading of the Quran and invocation of Allah the Merciful will continue until the end of the confinement and the improvement of the health situation at the national level. In Djibouti, the containment decided by the government 15 days ago to fight the COVID-19 pandemic has taken on its full meaning in recent days. Indeed, even if this measure took time to be adopted by the Djiboutian, yesterday, it is a reality. The observation was made last night, Thursday. The streets of the capital have never been so deserted. We only saw the circulation of security and defense agents who were deployed in the streets to enforce this containment, and state agents working in institutions or essential services authorized to operate during this crisis. Remember that this is a good thing, since confinement makes it's possible to slow down or even stop if strictly adhered to virus circulation. Today in Djibouti, the pandemic is at the stage of community transmission, and everyone's salvation is to respect confinement and to regularly observe barrier gestures. And now moving to our magazine. How have Djiboutian families embraced containment? How do they live? Exactly to find out more, Mahdi Ali's family has opened its door to us. Mahdi Ali managed to confine his family in order to follow the rules set up by the Djiboutian authorities against COVID-19. This is a report from the newsroom. Mahdi Ali is a family man who applied the rule of confinement to the letter. He lives in Kartisis, near the CLE Center. According to him, stay at home can protect his family from the spread of COVID-19. Since the introduction of confinement, this family has established a regular routine. He urged his son to wash his hands. His son complied, and he started washing his hands with the soap and water at the entrance to the house. The father is forced to have a quasi-military organization to stay at home. Rule is also imposed on a cleaning lady who is asked to stay at home too. No one is to leave their families because it's for the survival of the family. He is sleep here. Every day it's the same brutal homework start of 4:30 in the afternoon after a few minutes of recreation on the veranda. And the father keeps telling the kids that they have stayed at home. Moving now on the necrology, it is with regret and dismay that we learn of the death of Omar Abdullah Muhammad at SMI 1 hospital at the approximately 12:34 yesterday. The late Omar Abdullah Muhammad was born in January 1950 and died of a long illness. He was a great godly man known for his humanity and wisdom. He leaves behind him 6 children and many wisdom. The late Omar Abdullah is the in-laws of our sister and colleague Nagad Fuad Said, radio journalist. We extend to him all our sincere condolences as the Almighty of His mercy welcome him into His eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raj'un. Moving now on the international news, it took 16 hours of negotiation. In the end, the Eurogroup reached an agreement to save the European economy from the coronavirus. Up to 240 billion euros will be lent through the European Stability Mechanism. 200 billion is guaranteed for companies and up to 100 billion euros for short-time working. Mario Centeno, president of the Eurogroup, the package we approved today, approached 400 of European GDP plus automatic stabilizers, which are powerful enough to protect European economies in the event of a crisis. This is totally unprecedented. We have never ever reached so quickly to a crisis like this. The only requirement for states are to spend this money on health spending to cure and prevent. In this way, France, Spain, and Italy, great defenders of solidarity, achieve their goal of obtaining aid without further condition or austerity. But the idea of corona bonds was left by the wayside. This is it for this edition of Tonight. Thank you for watching us and have a wonderful night.